Hello guys, we're Cooking Chronicles and welcome to our first podcast ever. Today we'll be talking about beginner tips for cooking and also telling you guys a little bit more about ourselves. So to start off, all of our members will be going around to tell you guys our name, our level of cooking skills, and our favorite kind of food. So to start off, my name is Jackie. I would say I'm probably like a beginner to intermediate cook, and I think my favorite kind of food is Mexican food.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, my name is Napoleon, and I would say I'm a beginner cooker too, and my favorite would be Asian food, because I'm Asian.
Is there a specific reason?
Yeah, like what? Do you
What
have any
specific?
Probably Korean.
Korean food is
So good.
oh my gosh.
So I'm William. I am definitely a beginner when it comes to cooking, and my favorite food is probably pizza in specific. So.
Classic.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's valid.
My name's Keone, and I'd say I'm a beginner with my cooking skills. And my favorite kind of food, I'd say I just go with something basic like pizza, just quick and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pizza's so diverse too. You
Yeah,
can literally
true.
like,
You
you
can
have
have
dessert pizza,
Oh.
breakfast pizza.
Yeah, true. My name is Mackenzie, and my cooking skills, I would say I'm like intermediate. I've been cooking for a while, I guess. And my favorite kind of food, I'm torn between Italian and Mexican. I feel like you can never go wrong with Mexican. Like, I can chips and salsa myself to death, and I know that's not real Mexican, but yeah.
My name is Sarah. I would say I'm probably around intermediate. I can follow a recipe really well. So I feel like if it's an advanced recipe, I can still do it if you just tell me what to do. But if you just like dump me in front and was like, make something, I'd be like,
Yeah.
my favorite kind of food, I don't know. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm a really big soup girl. I love soup. I like cold soups. I like hot soups. I like noodle soups. I like tomato soup. I love soups. So, any kind of soup.
Yeah.
I love it.
So the next question for everyone is if your current cooking skills, were they like taught by your family or do you guys like learn by recipe? Because me, I'm like a recipe learner. Like I can put together a good meal if you give me a good recipe. But
yeah.
if you tell me to like, literally like what you said, if you put a whole bunch of ingredients in front of me and be like, okay, cook, gun to my head, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Are we going around saying this or just like
Just whoever.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like I started off like always cooking with my parents, so I learned a lot of things from my parents, especially my mom because she is such a good cook, and like my mom's friends as well. Like I always made sure to be in the kitchen when they were cooking because they make some good food. So I've learned a lot from them, but then since like coming to college, I've learned a lot on my own from like recipes on Pinterest and like stuff like that.
I love Pinterest.
Had to learn the hard way to make sure you read the recipe all the way through. Made a cheesecake one time, and you do in fact oftentimes have to let things set overnight, and everything has to be room temperature, and it's a long process.
Yeah.
So learned kind of both ways.
I know for me, I also kind of learned both ways. There are recipes that I have in the back of my head that I can make just by memory. My mom has a good soup, turkey provençal soup, and then like her spaghetti recipe and her macaroni and cheese recipe and stuff that I just like grew up on. But also I like learning new things and I like learning new techniques and stuff, and I love watching cooking videos on TikTok. I'll just be scrolling through my phone like 1 a.m. just like looking through all of them. So I am kind of both, I guess. Yeah.
Do you guys have like any special memories like cooking of like your family teaching you?
Mine probably be, so I lived in Chicago for a year, and my mom, it was like raining and we lived on the super like top floor of an apartment building, and so it was raining and we would be like above the clouds, so it would be raining below us, but it wasn't raining how high we were, but it was still like super cold and kind of miserable outside, but she taught me how to make the turkey provençal soup, and it's really yummy. It has turkey and like spinach in it and a lot of spices and tomatoes and a bunch of veggies. It's really good. So that was like a really fun memory.
That's sweet. I personally have most of my like cooking memories. I feel like are with my mom in the kitchen, especially like surrounding Thanksgiving. There's a dish, and it sounds weird. It's called pineapple casserole.
That sounds like the most white person food I've ever I'm gonna be so honest.
Pineapple casserole is wild.
Yeah,
What is-
so
what
it
is-
is. It's so good. It's super easy to make. Maybe we'll make it for some of our content, post a video about it. But basically, it's pineapple.
If the words mayo come out of your mouth, I'll
If you say cheese,
disappointed. Yeah.
So yeah, it is. It's a side. It's very basic, but it's good because it's sweet and it's savory. So like the middle of it's literally just like pineapple chunks, and you put some flour in there to like bring things together and add like some like thickness to the juice. Cheddar cheese, pineapple juice.
cheese, the
Cheddar
pineapple.
cheese. Yeah, but it's good. It
I have to
sounds
see a picture
weird,
of
but
this.
it's
You have
good.
to like show us pictures later.
No, guys,
because
we're gonna make it, and I'm gonna make all of you try it.
I don't even like pineapple on pizza. I don't even think it belongs there.
But you put cheddar cheese in it, which again sounds weird, but it's good. And then the topping is Ritz crackers with pineapple.
Pineapple what? More pineapple chunks.
Pineapple juice.
I'm gonna put the leaves on there too. So pineapple.
A little parsley for extra flavor.
No, no,
Sorry,
no,
sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I'm insulting your culture.
You are.
I don't know if you can put that in there.
There's
That's like
also sugar in the topping. It's really good. I know it sounds weird.
So it's like
very
pineapple
basic.
upside down cake, but with cheese.
And crushed up Ritz crackers, so there's a little saltiness in there. It's good. It sounds weird. It's very easy.
I need to let the audience
But
decide.
I
So
remember
very unique
sitting
to
on the
your family.
counter with my mom because it's an easy thing to make for Thanksgiving. Because let's be real, if you've ever tried to make Thanksgiving food by yourself, like having to make
It's
a bunch of stuff, oh my gosh, it's so stressful. Learned that the hard way this year. And as a kid, I remember sitting on the counter like crushing up the Ritz crackers.
You're
for my
making me
mom.
feel bad for.
right. This is like her
Yeah,
special.
this is a special
memory, and you're like, that's the one.
I'm dumping on it.
Yeah, so.
All right.
I'll try it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try it when you make it for us.
It's good, guys.
I think the only special memory I have of cooking, it's not really a special memory. It was just that my mom used to make this specific dish to like our country's like food, which is called guiso, which is literally like potatoes, rice, and chicken with like a certain like thick broth to it. And I remember she used to make it all the time when I was younger, and I used to get so mad when I'd come home from school and be like, "Why are you making this again?" But now as an adult, I literally beg her to make it because
That's sweet.
yes.
Yeah, that's okay. I love that. What about you guys?
One thing for me, like pretty much my whole family goes on vacation pretty much every summer to the same specific beach, and we usually do where one family cooks each night, and that's usually special because everybody gets to like chime in. And this was the first year that we actually got to do it, like the younger part of the family, and it did not go well at all.
No. What did you try to cook?
I set fire to one of the pans. So
Classic.
yes, so for my chicken, I always do it on a griddle, and I didn't know there was a difference between that and a pan, just a usual pan. So the pan was just burning the entire time I was cooking it, and I did not realize, and it lit fire. So
Oh.
that was
That's so
the
unfortunate.
worst experience. And then also the younger cousins spilt all of our pasta sauce. So
No.
it was terrible. I'll have to put some pictures up. on the
So they got
podcast,
lost
but
in the
it was
sauce.
so bad.
They got lost in the sauce.
They got
For
lost
real,
in
it
the
was
sauce.
it was a mess.
They lost the
but-
sauce.
Oh yeah.
What'd y'all eat that night?
We had enough to make it through, but we had chicken and
They were
pasta
rationing.
with half of the sauce. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that was some dry
You were
pasta.
a
Yeah.
survivor.
It was good. It was
You
good.
were a survivor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was like a
Yeah.
Well, that takes us into our next topic about the different kinds of cooking. So there's very different kinds of cooking as far as like what beginners would be learning. So one of the first kinds is obviously boiling, which is like cooking in hot liquid, which is
It's like
like water,
pasta.
stock, yeah, like boiling pasta. There's baking, which is like dry heat applied uniformly to food in an oven. And this is all information we got from a blog from August Escoffier, I believe is the way you pronounce it. It's a culinary school. roasting is direct heat from either an oven or an open flame, and then grilling is similar to roasting but uses a lot higher temperature. So not the exact same thing. We learned the hard way. And then frying, of course, is like cooking food in hot oil.
Fried food is so good. Side note.
Mm.
Anything
it
fried.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
I'll eat it.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Especially like fair food.
Mm.
Oh, I know it's so bad. But something about fried Oreos.
True.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's steaming, which is like food over boiling or simmering water. And like the moist heat basically reaches the food and cooks it, which obviously takes a long time. And then sauteing is just a light fry and a little bit of oil, which is probably like healthier than frying, I assume.
Yeah, but not as yummy. But
True.
it can be yummy. But fried
Yeah.
food is just a whole different tier.
It is. I feel like when you fry anything, it's just automatically good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Have
might
ya-
be like an
have y'all ever
American
heard
thing.
Fried butter. I've never
What?
tried
I
it.
saw that on
It's like
TikTok.
so it's like a stick of butter and then you put it in a batter and you fry it and the butter like melts into the dough and then it's just like buttery fried goodness.
Do you like
That sounds
bite
good.
in its liquid?
I don't know. I've never tried it. But I am interested in trying it. Well, I don't know. My arteries are kind of getting clogged talking about it.
Yeah.
But-
Like that sounds like it would make my chest hurt.
Yeah.
But it also sounds so yummy. So I don't really know.
Interesting.
yeah.
Maybe we should try it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fried butter sounds like also like a cooking hazard.
True.
Putting butter in a thing of hot oil sounds a little scary.
That's like a lot of oil.
Mm.
There's a lot of oil going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if it. Never mind. I was gonna make a funny joke and be like, if it's all that oil, I wonder if our insides are gonna get fried. But then I thought about it. I was like, that's not a funny joke.
Actually, no, I don't want to say that.
And then I proceeded to say it. Anyways, so one of the tips that the blog had for beginner cooks is the idea that obviously cooking takes time and patience. I know me personally, I can follow a recipe, but I'll do it probably like once every like 2 to 3 months because I get so frustrated cooking. I don't know what it is. Like I get so excited sitting down and cooking. I'll be like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna cook this great pasta. I'm gonna make the sauce from scratch. Like no canned nothing. Like I'm making everything from scratch. And then like 2 hours in, I'll be like, no way it's taking this long. Like this is ridiculous. So yeah, it can be stressful for me, but I know that obviously it takes time and patience, and the more you practice, I assume the more it gets easier.
I know for some people it's super relaxing, like it's a whole process and like the entire time that it takes to cook like is super relaxing and enjoyable for them. But I'm a very impatient person, and I want my food immediately.
I definitely think
But
there's
sometimes it's fun to cook. It depends.
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely depends on like the vibe you set and like your
and what mood
intention,
you're in.
the company. We also are making a video about that, so go check out our TikTok. Yeah, I mean, some of the tips that they included was obviously to prepare your ingredients before you cook. And I know somebody mentioned this earlier, sorry, I forgot who, but to read the recipe all the way through. When you do that, you kind of get an idea on like what kind of time you have to set aside for like cutting up like veggies or like cooking the chicken. You know, you don't want to be doing like 20 things at once and something burns and then you're frustrated. So yeah, it's good to like always read the recipe through and prepare your ingredients before you cook. And then also cleaning as you go is such a big thing, I feel like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
to cut down cooking time, because if you leave it till last minute, your sink is probably going to be like 20 dishes piled up high.
Yeah. That makes it hard, I feel like, 'cause by the end of it, sometimes, especially like you first start a new recipe, and then like, usually for me at least, whenever I try something new that I haven't done before, by the end of it, I'm like, okay, like, either it went great and it was easy, or I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I never want to make this again. This was so hard.
Yeah.
This was so time consuming. And then I have like a pile of dishes in the sink. I'm like,
And it makes
oh.
you never want to cook again.
Yeah. So I feel like that's something like encouraging for people that are starting off. Like, try the new recipe. It might not go the best the first time, but try it at least one more time, because that's one thing for me. Like, going back to like the process of cooking, I personally love it. Like, I love to get a little drink, put on some good music, maybe hang out with some roommates or friends or whoever, and like take the time to like slowly make a meal. But also, pro tip, because I also want my food right then and there, have some appetizers. I'm a big chips and
little
dip
snacking.
girl, or like have like a little taste test here and there. Like,
You
I
gotta make
love,
sure that it's safe.
Exactly.
I love a good taste test.
yeah, I'm such an appetizer person. Like, I could eat appetizers for dinner. I have and often do, actually, to be honest. But having something to snack on while you're cooking, makes it a lot more enjoyable. So you're not hangry cooking.
Yeah.
So, my question to you guys is like, does anybody have any like really funny cooking stories?
We heard about you
Yeah,
saying
Yeah,
that's
man.
honestly the only
Well,
one I
what about
have,
you guys?
unfortunately.
Any fun?
I have a funny one.
Yeah.
So it was my first time cooking. I was like 15. So
We're laughing already.
He just said his age. I'm like,
I wanted to make omu rice, which is rice and an omelet over it. So
wait, that's kind of difficult though, isn't it? Like making the omelet fall open.
yeah, it was a choice for my first one. So I prepped all the ingredients, like all the vegetables and sauces and stuff. I turned on the pan, I put all the sauces and vegetables in. And then I put in the rice. But in my head, I thought putting the rice onto the pan will cook the rice.
So it
But-
was
This was like
uncooked
raw.
rice. Crunchy.
Oh.
Yeah. And I didn't realize it until like it wouldn't cook for like 10 minutes. So, well, it wasn't my fault. On the recipe, it said to put in the rice. It didn't say cooked rice.
Oh.
So I like
These
I
are
knew
these
that
are
I didn't know.
these are a lack of explanation tips that you'll never find on our recipe.
Don't even worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We got you. We'll make sure you know
We'll
that
walk
you
you
gotta
right.
boil the rice.
He said, but it wasn't my fault. Oh, that's funny.
So I spent like an hour prepping all that for me to just throw it all away.
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
That's
Oh,
terrible.
that's
Oh, that's the hardest part when you just gotta admit defeat sometimes with the
Mhm.
recipe. You're just like,
Yeah.
it's done. It's
We've
done.
all
for.
been there.
You know what? I feel like that happens a lot. I feel like growing up, you're like, my mom makes this, and it's like 2 things, so like it's not that hard, and you don't know about like
Anything.
boiling the rice or pasta.
Yeah.
I remember it wasn't even that long ago that I was trying to make pasta, and I was-
Yesterday.
and like I was like, dang, how do I boil noodles? And like I don't know why I didn't think to read the package, but my first instinct, of course, was to call my mother and be like, Mom, how do you boil noodles? And she's like, you're lying. Like, you're actually lying. I was like, no.
Sometimes you just
Hey, my brother's like 5 years older than me, give or take. And I was always the one that like knew how to cook between the two of us. I was the one sitting on the counter with Mom while she was cooking as a kid. He
Yeah.
was not. He was
Pineapple
nowhere to be
casserole.
found with pineapple casserole. And it was like during the summer, so he was like home from college or something. He was like that old. He was either like a senior in high school, freshman in college, old enough to know how to make some easy meals, right? I come downstairs and something's burning. There is this odd orange substance all over the counter. You know what he was trying to make? Was Easy Mac.
No.
You mess.
Wait.
you messed that up.
No, literally, and he was like he does like he was like such a mess. Like I come downstairs, burning stuff all over the counter. He doesn't have his shirt on. Like don't have his shirt away.
Why do you guys always do
No,
that?
literally.
I want to know. Like, I'm so stressed.
No, I was like, no. Literally, I was like, I saw you 10 minutes ago and you had a shirt on, and the house was not smelled like it was burning. Like, what happened?
He was stressed.
Yes, and he was like, because he was just, I don't know how to make. Like, can you make it for me? I was like,
What is there left to make?
Right.
Literally.
Yeah, it was a mess. So, there's always room to grow.
Always.
Yeah.
As always.
moral
We
of the
all
story.
start somewhere.
Absolutely.
We all start
For sure.
somewhere.
Yeah, and we're here to help you guys continue to grow on this cooking journey. Even
Yeah.
if you have some crazy stories like we do.
Yeah.
Something similar happened with my roommate last week.
Last week is crazy.
So he doesn't cook. He's a freshman, right? He usually cooks ramen every
Yeah.
night, but he does like the bowl ones where you just add water and then put it in the microwave. Well, this man forgot to add water
I've
to
done
the
that.
thing.
I've literally done that.
But he left it in there for 5 minutes going on, and it was 2 a.m. And
Did the smoke alarms go on?
No, I woke up to the smell of plastic, and I thought it was my room heater. So I turned off my room heater, went back to sleep. I go wake up in the morning, and all my roommates were like, "Yo, we were trying to knock on your door." I was like, "Why?" They were like, "We thought your room was on fire." I was like, "Did you even check the microwave?"
Oh.
It was just
Poor guy.
when you look in the microwave, it was literally just a black square.
No.
But then my apartment still smells like burnt plastic.
I feel
Yeah,
like
it's hard to get
terrible.
rid of that smell.
there definitely needs to be like certain warnings about microwaving, and this was a while ago, but I remember my cousin was literally warming up a Hot Pocket, but I don't even think it was the Hot Pocket packaging. I think it was like the paper towel she put it on. But like, I kid you not, she like puts it in the microwave and then like turns it on, and then she turns around and she's talking to me and she's like, yeah, blah blah blah. Her back is towards the microwave, and I look behind her and literally the microwave is on fire.
Wait, that's what I mean.
And I was like,
That's the same thing. Yeah.
I was like, the microwave's on fire, and she's like, oh my gosh.
That happened to me when I was little with a Hot Pocket, and I put it on a little paper plate, but I wanted the paper plate to be fancy, so it was a sparkly one, and there was tin in it.
Yeah,
And
that's what it
I
is.
turned around, and my microwave was in flames, and my parents were so mad at me. But it wasn't my fault. I just wanted my freaking Hot Pocket.
That's the title of today's episode. It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah. So some more, I guess, seasoned cookers like tips. That is probably like kind of generic stuff like that you probably wouldn't think of. The first one would be like to not overcrowd your pan. So like when you can overcrowd your pan, it like causes steam to build up and can prevent food from browning. So like your food may not cook evenly. So it's really important to like cook in batches if you need to, and just make sure your pan is not like overcrowded. I know I'm like literally a victim of that. That always happens to me. Because I've cooked like a whole bunch of chicken in this pot that was like medium size, and I was like, it's not that much chicken, like it'll be fine. And then I'll put it there, and then there's like water everywhere, and I was like, why is there water everywhere? What's happening? And my chicken was not cooked evenly.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That happens to the best of us.
And
Yeah.
also the chicken should be cooked throughout while you're cooking. So apparently if you add seasoning at the end, that only leaves the seasoning to sit on top of like the ingredient that you're cooking. So it's really important to season while and taste test throughout.
I love good taste test.
Yeah,
We were talking
yeah,
about earlier.
exactly. So you don't get hangry. It's necessary.
To be honest, actually, I'm actually really scared of taste testing. I feel like I never like knew how to properly taste test because I just always thought like, man, if I taste test right now, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get like food poisoning or
How do
something
you
like.
know if you've like seasoned properly?
Oversalted it or undersalted.
I never knew until after, which is probably why a lot of I'd be like, oh my gosh, my meal, like I cooked, I put my heart and soul into that, like there's so much love in it, it's gonna be so great, and then I'd like look at like I taste the meal after, and I'd be like, this is really salty.
Kind
of salt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just never learned how to taste test. I'm gonna learn that. That's gonna be on my to-do list.
There you go.
That's so good.
Gotta learn.
But we're here to help you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's a journey. We're all on this together. Some of us are more advanced than others, but.
I still set a Hot Pocket on fire, so keep that in mind.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in for today's episode, our first ever episode of the Cooking Chronicles. Woo! We hope that you guys enjoyed and follow us on Instagram.
TikTok.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel. You're on our YouTube channel.
Check out our website for all the links to all of the platforms at the bottom of the page.
And for blogs updated on cooking tips and cooking recipes that are helpful and will tell you that you need to boil your rice.
Yes.
Because it's never your fault.
It's never your fault.